would you rather have the rest of the season?
Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the most electric quarterback I've seen since Brett Favre. Tom Brady's better than Brett Favre ever was.
You'd rather have Patrick Mahomes
than Tom Brady.
Patrick
Mahomes is, with fresh wheels, a fresh arm, a more imaginative play caller, and better offensive weapons. I'd rather have him. Now, if you were to ask me who I'd rather have in the postseason, in the playoffs.
Don't give it. Don't modify it. Don't modify. We asked you a direct question. You gave us the answer. Don't go in another direction. Don't go in another direction.
You don't make the rules here.
Oh, yes, I need to. I promise you I need to. There is a debate. We asked you a direct question.
We're not debating who makes the rules now, guys. Everything is
the question. Ask the question again.
Okay.
Who'd you rather have the rest of?
Who would you rather have the rest of the way? Patrick?
No, you said season.
Okay, rest of the season, rest of the way. Now we're mincing my words.
I'll answer the question. And I'm going to answer in the way that Max would answer it. Well, I'll take Tom Brady. But then I might take Patrick Mahomes next week. I know it says not what you said, but I'm saying the point is, she said the season.
Right.
What are we talking about?
The season.
Sorry, it's just the season. Yeah. So in other words, now if you're asking me about the postseason, no. Who you got? Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady? You don't get to get two of them. I want one. I want one. For me, it's Tom Brady.
I said Patrick Mahomes. What part of Patrick Mahomes?
Did you just not say come post? Now, if you're asking me about the postseason, and I'm saying no. Tom Brady. Now the rest of the season, all the way.
What is happening right now?
That's my answer. Just go one. Just pick one, man.
My answer is Patrick Mahomes, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Ted.
I'm going with Tom Brady.
Shocker.
It's always been a slow build in New England, and Patrick Mahomes has started fast. And Max is right. He's more electric of a quarterback. I mean, the things he can do athletically, Tom's not going to do any of that. But I think with the Julian Edelman suspension the first 4 games, you're now welcome to the 2018 New England Patriot offense. This is what it's going to be. The triangle of trust, which I like to call it, Gronkowski, Edelman, and James White. Those type of players where those are his first 3 reads. If you've got Josh Gordon down the field on a tendency breaker to go down the field, he'll do that too also. But now, if I'm Josh Gordon, I have a perfect situation to where I don't even have all this attention. I can just focus on myself and run my handful of routes and just be a part of a winning team. So I think the Patriot offense and Tom Brady, they're the ones that's going to continue to surge throughout the season. So, of course, I'm going to take my former teammate, Tom Brady.
Look, if you asked last year early on, who would you rather have the rest of the season, Carson Wentz or Tom Brady? Well, as long as Carson Wentz was on the field, in fact, the answer was Carson Wentz, the young quarterback who was much more mobile and had a bigger arm, and in Mahomes' case also has more offensive weapons, was the answer through week 13. I mean, Carson Wentz was better than Tom Brady through 13 weeks. Now, Carson Wentz wound up getting hurt. Part of that is he plays out of the pocket more than Brady. If you want to factor that in, okay. In this case, Carson Wentz's team actually beat Tom Brady's team in the playoffs. But the reason, the caveat for me is the playoffs, is that Mahomes is really a first-year player. He's actually a rookie quarterback. And Carson Wentz had a little more experience under his belt. And so when you talk about a guy who's really starting for the first time as a quarterback in the playoffs versus a Bill Belichick coach team, I think that's different. But that's the totality of the team, not just Tom Brady. In terms of which guy I would rather have on any given Sunday this year, the answer is Mahomes.
For the season, for the rest of the season, the Chiefs continue to make the playoffs, Max. The Patriots continue to make the playoffs. Well, so you're picking both guys here. You're picking both quarterbacks. You just said again, but if this goes to the playoffs, it's a first-year quarterback that's against Belichick in the playoffs. You would rather take Tom.
It's a little bit lonely.
Do you care about the regular season or the postseason?
Everybody hold up for 1 second. Please let me speak. Max, I understand what you're saying. You're saying you want Patrick Mahomes until week 17, and then the playoffs you'd want Tom Brady, but that's not really answering the question. You have to pick one or the other.
In totality, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. How many times can I say I'm taking Patrick Mahomes?
Okay.
You want to add it all up, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I'm taking Tom Brady. It's the New England Patriots. They're in the AFC East. Edelman is back. Josh Gordon is going to get even better with them. I believe this. Gronk is going to be there. We know the system they're familiar with. More importantly, Kansas City started off 5-0 last year, and then they nosedived. That's not going to happen this year. Patrick Mahomes is a stud. He's the real deal. I can see that. I'm happy for the brother. He's got an incredibly promising career. His gifts are undeniable. But let's also take into account what we saw last week against Jacksonville. And it wasn't just that defense. It's the fact that as the season wanes, inclement weather is going to come into play. The Patrick Mahomes that we were seeing the first few weeks, we're not going to necessarily see as the season wanes because they'll be running the football more than they're throwing it. And I think the combination of that reality combined with the experience and the seasoned cohesiveness that we've witnessed year after year after year from the New England Patriots for this particular season, this day forward, all the way through the regular season, through the playoffs, I'm going with Tom Brady.
Who was better at week 13, through 13 weeks, Carson Wentz or Tom Brady last year?
Are we talking about Carson Wentz now? Are we talking about Carson Wentz? Let's stick on the Patrick Mahomes things here
my point is who was better.
Stephen A. is exactly right.
Just saw.
Can we hear Teddy?
There are other things. There's so many other things that are unknown about Patrick Mahomes. Not only Stephen A. talked about the inclement weather. Officials start to call the game differently in December in the playoffs. How is he going to react to that when he doesn't have the wide open receivers because of scheme? Does he have an accurate arm? Yes, he's a very accurate passer also, but so many things that he doesn't know yet. He still doesn't know. When you reach Thanksgiving, when you reach defenses end up catching up towards the end of the season, officials call the game differently, those type of things. How will Andy Reid react as a play caller if that 10 to 15 play script is survived and no one's fooled by the smoke and mirrors now and it's 0-0 going into half or it's only 7-7, a low scoring game? How do they react coming out of that as a coaching staff also with Mahomes? So much more, which is why any educated person knowing how the New England Patriots surge towards Thanksgiving would pick Tom Brady.